itself, but something that's a little bit more of general use. So one of the things that's fascinated me recently is the use of machine learning for generating images. Of course, Midjourney, DALL-E being some of the biggest tools out there for doing that. But something that's popped up on my social media feeds is these tools that allow you to create 360 images, like you can see on the screen just now. And it kind of fascinated me because basically what these do is create a 360 image. You can then put this image into a sphere and use it as a skybox in a game, or you can bring it into VR and effectively feel like you're in the middle of that space. And it kind of got me thinking about imagination and how that works, especially looking at my kids. The kind of things that they can imagine are really interesting because, as far as I can tell, their imagination is somewhat limited by the things that they've seen and the things that they've experienced. So, of course, the older you get, you would think the more vivid your imagination and the ability to create an image in your head, etc., would get better and better. Then we've got things like machine learning, which effectively have access to a huge amount of image information and soon, video information. And as you can see, they can effectively imagine a scene like this based on a text prompt that you've give here. So I wanted to show you in this video, basically highlight some of these tools. This is one from Blockade Labs. It's the one that I found to be the best so far. The way it works is you type in your prompt at the bottom here. So let's say, let's try something like this. You hit generate and it goes away, thinks about it, uses its imagination, and this one actually is relatively quick. I can't remember if this is based on Midjourney or DALL-E. I think it's DALL-E, but it's relatively quick compared to some of the other tools I've used. And as you'll see in this drop down here, you've actually got some style presets. So that's it generated. This is a misty morning scene in London. This looks a little bit more like Cambridge. Let's just try Cambridge here. So let's show you that it's working. And they're pretty stunning. It's creating I think it's an equi-rectangular, so it's projecting onto this, what's it, 4 sides of a cube, or the 6 actually, so the up and the down as well. And it distorts the image so that when you project that onto a sphere, you get actually a kind of nice normalized image that wherever you're looking. So you can see there, the results are pretty stunning. This is realistic setting. Let's try if we can push this a bit more. Let's see if that makes any difference to put in the word photorealistic. Clearly what it's doing here, it's got images of Cambridge, Cambridgeshire. It's looking at the architecture, the buildings. So it's red roof color there. It's looking at the kind of trees that you get, the kind of flowers. And I must admit, Cambridgeshire does have very nice kind of English gardens. And then these towers is very typical for Cambridgeshire to have these towers in the background. So there's another one. Absolutely stunning scene. Does not exist anywhere in the world. It's a complete work of fiction. And as I said, you've got all these different styles here. It's really interesting just to play with that. What you can do, or you can also give it an image as a prompt. And then the interesting thing is you can download that. And you'll see here that it's a square picture that's distorted so that when you wrap it onto a sphere, it will look perfect. Now, the interesting thing is there's a variety of different places where you can use this. So you can go to Unity. If you know how to use Unity, you can create a skybox and you can bring it in. But by far the quickest way to experience these things for me is in this WebXR application called FRAMVR. So if you go to framevr.io, as you can see up the top there, you can make your own private rooms. And these rooms can have a variety of different environment. So this is actually a 3-dimensional space. As you can see here, it's a gallery. But it's dead easy to bring in these 360 images. So 360 photo, I go to my downloads. Sorry, so I can click here so it comes up. And then, yeah, click on the image. It uploads it. It wraps it onto a sphere. And we now have the sphere in the room. There's a couple of things you can do. You can walk into it where you see a low resolution version of it. Or you just click on it. And it will load that scene in as your environment. And as you can see here, you can access this via your web browser. So on any device, a phone, anything you send it to, you can use this as a collaborative space. So you can come in here with other people and experience this space together and talk about it. Use it for inspiration for a design or for a game or anything you want. Use it as a 360 skybox effectively for things like Gravity Sketch. Very powerful tool. And that's how easy it is. So go to FRAMVR, or Mozilla Hubs is another alternative, but there's a couple more steps involved. Make yourself a frame and then use the add asset 360 photo, go and browse, and then pick up your image from there. That's it from me. I hope you have fun using generative AI to create some skyboxes, and I'll just show you some of these other ones I've created here while I wrap up. So I think that was a fantasy style. Oh, sorry, this one was fantasy style. Beautiful view down a valley with a glacial landscape in Scotland. Sorry, that was that one. This is a more photorealistic one. And you can see that machine learning is just trying to make something that looks like a village here. And of course, this is usually at the moment the telltale sign that is machine learning, where it screws up things like that. It doesn't look completely real, but you can see it does a pretty good job of, you know, where roads and pathways are, what the coast looks like, what mist looks like, what reflections of clouds look like. It's pretty clever stuff, actually. Right, that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed this video. And FRAMVR.io is the place where you can test your skyboxes, and Skybox Lab from Blockade Labs is where you can generate your skyboxes. Cheers for now. Bye-bye.